Hello, I'm Pastor Jeremy Combs, and we're going to pause for a proverb. Let's go. We're in Proverbs chapter 8. We started verse 13, but it's such a rich verse that we only really got the beginning of the verse stated. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil. Now, we talked about evil. Evil is to have a look towards self. And we're going to see the downward spiral of a selfish life. And it continues in that verse by saying God hates pride, and he also hates arrogancy, and he hates the evil way. The froward mouth do I hate. Selfishness is an addictive vice. Once you start it, it begins to spiral out of control. Pride begins with a look at self. Pride then produces arrogancy. You now live for self. So think about it. Look to self. You live for self. Once you have taken these steps, it now leads us into total opposition to God by, and here's the evil way, loving self. This is what this entails. The word evil means to spoil. Selfishness causes the good fruit of our life to turn rotten or bad. Now, the final step is to lie to self. A frowardness means to be perverse. It has the idea of fraud. You, in essence, get scammed by your own selfish conceit. In fact, the word froward comes from a root word meaning to turn away, which heavily indicates that we are deceived from the way of God into sin. So, are you a proud person? Verse 13 kind of gives us a litmus test to help examine ourselves. Do you look to self? Are you always kind of looking to you and what you want? Do you live for self? Does it have to be your way all the time? Do you love self so much that you would put yourself ahead of others, or even worse, God? Are you being lied to by yourself? If so, here's how you stop it. You look back to God. God hates pride, arrogancy, the evil way, the froward mouth. He doesn't hate the person. Boy, he loves them. That's why he died for your sins. We celebrate that today on Good Friday. But he hates the way you're living. And when you have those sins in your life, you are in direct opposition to God. Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 14 says, "Counsel is mine, sound wisdom. I am understanding, I have strength." Evil and wisdom have some similarities, but they also have many differences. We've seen wisdom in the first 12 verses. Now evil is described in verse 13. Now verse 14 compares and contrasts the two. Excuse me. Counsel shows us the purpose of wisdom. Counsel means advice or to plan. One must choose and follow both the paths of either wisdom or evil. There's nothing accidental or coincidental in these different directions. Yet wisdom differs from evil in the last three ways. First, wisdom can be substantiated. That's a big word. That's what that word sound wisdom means. It's the idea of it is known to be true. Evil is always built upon a false premise and deceptively presents itself as true. Secondly, wisdom is pure, or we would say right. We can discover that right is different from wrong. Then we can apply the right directions to our life. Finally, wisdom is powerful. The word strength means not only power, but it also entails the idea of victory. Wisdom gives us the resources that we need to see victory over evil and the power to do what is right. So, what path will you choose today? Will you choose the path of God and be on his side and have a plan, and it can be substantiated, and it will be pure, and it will be powerful? Or will you go to the way of evil and, of course, be consumed with self and in direct opposition to God? Only two verses, but some powerful truths contained. Who will you live for today?